It's Tuesday, May 18th, May 15th, May 18th, May 15th, 2018. I wish it was May 18th because that's Friday. I really could use it to be Friday already on Tuesday. But it's Tuesday, so we're doing our new show, Game Reimagining. Oh, we're going to reimagine some classic games. We might reimagine how some current games could be made a little bit different or better, improved. But we're going to do a game I haven't seen reimagined in a long time. It's an old Atari game with, it was actually on a ton of different consoles. It was called Berzerk. Now Berzerk, if anybody remembers, was just it was your little guy. He was in a maze. All the walls were electrified, and you had to kill all of the little robots that were in the room with you. Now you could do this in several different ways. You could either shoot them, you could actually draw them to you. They would walk into the walls and kill themselves, which I don't know why that was a game mechanic for it, but it was kind of cool. So you could convince them to walk into the walls, because they would try to get you through the walls. They would walk into it and they would kill themselves. If you stayed in the level too long, you got the big bouncing round red head called, or I don't know if it was red, it might have been yellow. I don't think there was a lot of different color palettes back then. But it was called Evil Otto. So, and it was basically just maze after maze after maze in the same basic premise. Kill all the robots, and that's it. But what if we reimagine this game? How could you do it? I mean, it's got to be in a 3D world. Well, why not make it VR? Why not? Puts you in there, immerses you. It's in a first-person view. And you have your, you have your little controllers that can be your, can be your guns. And you can even, and you'd be able to look around. But they could start you off at the top of a tower. Basically, drop you on the top floor of a tower, and you got to get to the bottom by eliminating all of the enemies. Whichever way you want to do it, you just eliminate them. But you're given a few more weapons. You're not just given some laser blaster. And once again, also, if you spend too much time, Evil Otto will jump onto the level to come and get you. Now, the cool part about this is, with being in 3D, and you can darken the environments and make them kind of creepy and scary, and you can have noises of the other robots kind of moving around, and you just kind of give them, where you can kind of hear them. And just keep it robots. You don't have to make it monsters or anything like that. You can still, Fallout shows you can still have robots that come after you, and it can still kind of freak you out. So you just have it as robots. And you got to eliminate all the robots on each floor. Now, the reason for this is still not going to be known. You're not really knowing why you have to eliminate all the robots. Once again, some of the walls, we're not going to have in this one, not all of the walls are going to be electrified. We don't want to make it like that. It would be weird. It's like, why would you electrify every wall in your building? But there will be some kind of a defense mechanism where if you can get a robot, if you can kind of hear one in the other room, you can maybe try to get their attention by pounding on the wall or something. That could be a game mechanic. You hit the wall, and the robot will start coming towards the wall, and you electrify the wall that he's walking towards, and he'll electrify himself. So it kind of gives you this premise where the robot knows you're over there, and the robots are actually strong enough that if they want to, they can walk through the walls. They can just bust through them. So that way, it's like, here, you're doing this, and it's like, and they just, if you don't electrify the wall, they'll come through it at you if they hear you. So there could be some stuff. Now, you could go in guns a-blazing. We make it both. You could just go in guns a-blazing and shoot like in the original Berzerk. There was no stealth. It was just go in and start killing everything. And now, once again, if you spend too much time on a particular level, now you'll get to see, because you're now in VR, and you can even do this out of VR if you want. You just make it a first-person game. But in VR, it'd be way more immersive and way more freaky, especially when you're kind of looking around, and you maybe all of a sudden a robot just comes smashing right through the wall to get you. Then it could give you quite the little jump scare. Especially if everything's all quiet. So you spend too much time, you'll start to hear kind of this, I don't know, it'd be a droning noise or something of some kind of Evil Otto. And it won't be a real detail. It will still look like the old Atari 2600 Evil Otto. It'll just be a really blocky looking circle. But it'll be freaky looking, as it's gigantic. It'll be as big as the hallways. There won't be any way to get around it. And you'll see, and it'll just glow red. So you'll see the glow. It's like, if it's just coming down the hall and kind of hovering towards you, you'll see the glow. Now, if you stay real quiet, he might go past you. But he's going to be on the level hunting you. So you're going to either have to eliminate that last robot or last couple of robots and not get hit by Evil Otto, or you're just going to have to, make a break for it. Do whatever you want. But of course, if you can, once Evil Otto comes onto the level, it will open the exit. It will not open before that. You can't just run to an exit. So the exit will open either when you eliminate all of the robots on the level, or Evil Otto shows up. And if Evil Otto shows up, the exit will illuminate, and then you can get out of there. Or it will at least open, so that you can make a break for it if you have to. And then you go down to the next level, and then Evil Otto probably just spend time on the upper level making sure you're not still there. But then once again, you spend too much time on the next level, and you're going to have the same problem. So more than likely, on the easy, we'll have the modes. On the easiest mode, you'll get a lot of time to get rid of the robots. There won't be as many robots to get rid of, so not as many enemies. Evil Otto might move a little slower, just to kind of give you a chance. And there'll also be ways to kind of stun Evil Otto. There'll be a last-ditch thing that you can just drop, and it'll give you a second or two to kind of maybe jet down a hallway or something. You just kind of throw it down, and it'll stop them for a second or two, but it won't give you much more time than that. So you can just, it's like, even if you see him come, it's like, oh crap, just throw down something. It'll just like, it'll kind of just grab him for a second, and then it'll give you a chance to, it'll give you just a couple more seconds to get away. So you just kind of keep doing that level by level, and as you're going down the levels, you'll find the computer terminals. And now when you're in the terminals, it'll basically pause the game so that you don't have to worry about it wasting your time, because you need the terminals kind of to tell you the story of really why you're here. You have an idea, but you won't know for sure. I haven't worked out the story, and I'm sure there are people way more qualified to work out a story for it than I am. But they can kind of give you piece by piece as you're going down the levels, little pieces of the story as you get closer to the ground floor. And then by the time you get to the ground floor, of course, now is when you are going to have to fight Evil Otto. You are going to have to take him out to get out of the building. And you don't even do it on the first floor. There'll be a basement level. It's like you'll see the exits, but you can't get out of them just yet. You have to go down to the basement to defeat Evil Otto once and for all. And you have to escape him on that first floor and get down to the basement, because the only way to eliminate him is to get him underground. Because the building has kind of a thing that it's like, once you'll find this out, that once you get to the ground level, if he goes below the ground level, it basically makes him mortal. He will be able to be destroyed. He's just going to be tough. And he will he might take on different forms. Just to, make, like they do in a lot of boss battles, he'll take on different forms. And then, of course, after you defeat him, then, of course, you'll win the game, and then you can do it all over again. And you could, you can maybe have upgrades to weapons and stuff to make it you know, maybe certain, and have different kinds of robots so that you have to maybe take them out with different kinds of weapons, different ammunitions, maybe. Make it easy to switch between everything so that you know, maybe it's just one gun with a bunch of different ammunition types that you can load in. So, I mean, what do you think? It's a rough idea, but I have not seen a reimagining of Berzerk, and I would kind of like to see it. The original Berzerk was a very fun game. Why not make it something bigger for, you know, let's make it a big AAA title for the, you know, 2020 or something like that. Have it released by 2020, about the same time Final Fantasy VII will come out probably. So why not start making it now, make a really awesome Berzerk game, and that way some of the people that used to play back, you know, back in the old days, the old Atari, and maybe there's even a little version of it or something as you're playing through the game or something like that. Or, you know, you kind of find an old, you know, you find an old arcade machine and you just go, what's that doing there? And then you just go and you kind of play it a little bit, and it's like, well, this seems, you know, and then even have the guy maybe come down, well, this seems kind of stupid. And it's like, what a dumb game or something. Just have a, it's like, just have him go, I'd hate to be the guy in that game. You know, and then just have him kind of move on, you know. But, you know, let me know what you think. Maybe add some ideas, maybe a storyline that might fit this, you know. So, there it is. That's my reimagining of Berzerk. So with all that being said, to the troops, past, present, and future, thanks for the freedom.